And it's a great day to be alive. Welcome back, everybody. Thomas called me this morning singing that song to me. And part of the reason is because I had a little bit of a close call. Actually, not a little bit, a very, very close call in the helicopter last night. And got a little bit overloaded. Put it down in some grapes last night. Looking over at my wife. She knows. But yeah, luckily with lots of prayer and saying, Jesus, help me, we pulled it out and end up, I think, over temping the gauge. Or the engine, I'm sorry. My brain's still not fully functioning. But yeah, I'll just say my stomach was up in my chest. That was I've had lots of close calls over the last 16 years of flying, but that one, that actually I've had way worse things happen than that, but I've had wrecks. I've lost a couple engines in flight. I've had one billowing smoke and shooting flames out, and luckily got it on the truck right before it went down. What else? Yeah, blew my back out on that one wreck. That was probably 12 years ago. So yeah, an exciting time, exciting day. Good day to be alive. And actually, like I said, you never know. Life can, you don't realize how short life is until like you lose someone. And then you think about eternity, you think about the future, you think about, what's going to happen after this, which I know what's going to happen. You're going to go to either one of two places is how I believe the Bible teaches. So as long as you have live for Christ and have him in your life, you don't have no worries about what's going to happen afterwards. But no matter how you are, who you are, how you believe, any of that stuff, I will tell you this. Like I said, when someone passes away, you really start thinking of like, man, I need to treat people better. I need to be a better person. I need to be more patient. I need to be more kind. I need to be more giving, right? You always think that. But like when your own self has a close call, it's weird because I don't really think of it like that. I just think like, oh man, I'm not so invincible. You know what I mean? Stuff could happen to me. And it can happen to anybody, but you just don't think about yourself until something like that happens. So I am thankful to the Lord that he kept his hand on me because like I said, I don't think I would have got hurt because I'm taking off the loader truck in the helicopter. So when you take off, you're at max gross weight. And so every load is just maxed out. That's just how it is in ag, right? And when you take off, you usually take off the truck and there's nothing in front of it except dirt or ground or alfalfa field or whatever. And you just like dip down and you build up that momentum and that speed and you go through what's called effective translational lift. And once you go through that, it kind of causes a shudder and then you go through that and then you're good to go. Well, when I took off that truck yesterday, I had just got fuel and he gave me a load. And I don't want to blame him by any means. He might have just gave me a little bit more than normal. Plus the wind switch to behind me. And you always want the wind in your face. And then I'm taking off over grapes, which if you know grapes in orchards and ag, they're about, I'm going to say like to my shoulders, probably, maybe to the top of my head. So, close to 6 feet, 5.5, 6 feet. Well, I don't have that extra padding to do a takeoff and like let it kind of sink down and build up some momentum. I have to keep it up above the grapes. So definitely won't be doing that anytime soon again, which I've done it hundreds of times before. But I think the combination of how hot it's been, 105, 110, the wind switch, which was behind me, so I had no help there. I just got fuel, and I might have got a hair overloaded. I mean, everything was against me. So good news is I'm okay. The helicopter's probably okay. They just got to go through the engine and make sure everything's good and didn't cook anything from over temping. But what I was going to say is I don't think I would have got hurt at all because I'm only 5 feet off the ground. But if you know about those grape orchards, there's wires. They run wires, like really thick wire across the tops of them. And then there's just poles and wires down below too for them to grow up on. So I would have wrecked a helicopter. It would have I definitely am pretty sure the blades, the main rotor blades, which are 80,000, those would have been chopped up because they would have hit and then they would have sagged down. The tail rotor, all that would have been chopped off. It would have been bad. So it would just not have been good. And to be honest with you, the loaders that were directly behind me, because I was probably like 30 yards away from the truck when this happened, they could have got hurt too because parts start flying. So I'm thankful. And I was just kind of being joking when I was singing that song, but in all reality, I'm thankful that the helicopter's okay and I'm okay. And I know the companies are always thankful for that because that's just part of the industry. So I'm thankful that I didn't mess anything up for their sake, and I know they're thankful too. So we'll just thank the Lord for that one. But to move on, I've been sitting here really thinking like, man, I don't know what I want to do, and I apologize for not getting out 2 a week for the last week and this week I only got one out. Or for the last 2 weeks I only got one out. I'm gonna get back to 2. I've been so unbelievably working my brains out 7 days a week and 15, 16, 17 hours a day. I literally don't have time to do it. And you guys don't know like how hard I try to put these out for you because I've stayed up till 2 in the morning doing it and knowing I got to get up at 5 and trying to edit, try to get the things out. So I trust me, I care about you guys and I appreciate your guys' support because it makes it all worth it. When I'm doing that and I'm staying up late like that, it's worth it because you guys always give good feedback. You guys are always positive. It's just, I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Because I'm just a Joe Blow, right? I'm just a blue collar guy, works regular job, understands what it means to work and sometimes not have enough money, right? Like I'm not this guy that's just like, oh, I just have the money and I just do whatever I want when I went. No. I know what it is to not be able to get to the bills you need, and I've been there. And so I have, what do you call it? I don't want, compassion, I guess would be one word, but I can relate big time. Because I ain't nobody. I am just a Joe Blow that was raised by a God-fearing family, and I just try to work hard and love my family, love God, and kill ducks. So, all right. I guess I'm going to kind of touch a little bit on scouting because I feel like we do that all the time. Excuse me. I feel like we've talked about this a lot, but I know, shout out to Adam Teeny. He was like, hey, can you guys, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Whew. Anyways, I was talking to him and he said, hey, or text me and he said, hey, can you do on in-depth scouting like at refuges? And I feel like we've done that so much. But again, when you do over 210 episodes, I mean, we've been doing this for 3 years. So even if we did do it on an episode, that's a long time ago. A lot of different people are listening. So yeah, let's just talk a little bit. I'm not going to get too crazy because I don't claim to know everything. But then I'm going to stay tuned because I'm going to call Austin from Acadiana Coat. And we're going to talk for about 5-10 minutes about the process he did on the gun and just our thoughts on it. Guys, if you have not seen that video, you've got to go check it out on the YouTube channel. If you don't get notifications, and by the way, if you do, go in there and just click the notifications on that little bell on the top right. It'll let you know when we put a new video out. Because I know there's a lot that do that and have that, but there's a lot that don't. And a lot of you subs that if you're from the regular YouTube channel listening on here, you've told me yourselves like, man, we're not seeing nothing. No, we're not being notified, or when we go to our subscription feed, we're not seeing your videos, which really bugs me that YouTube does that. It's like, if you're subscribed to the person, show them in the thread. I don't understand why they do that, but that ain't the first time, and I ain't the only channel I've heard that happening to. But anyways, the title of the video is My Browning A5 Got a Facelift, and then on the front it's just me holding the gun blacked out and saying new duck on it. So it's the last video. I just posted it. What is today? I can't remember what today is, but I just posted it. I think I posted it yesterday. Yeah, I did. So it's already got 4,000 views on it. It's cool because obviously people are really curious to see it. And the job, I got so much good feedback. You guys all really were super cool about it. And it's funny because a lot of you Browning A5 people were like, man, I think I want to get that done to my gun. So anyways, go check that out. And so Austin did that. He Cerakoted the gun, and you'll have to go see the colors. I used a burnt bronze custom mix. We did have it another color, but then he stripped it back down again, sandblasted it back down and started over again because it was like too gold and there was like green or something mixed in. It was weird. It wasn't green, but it just had a hue to it. And it looks so bad, guys. It's so awesome. If you have not watched the video, you got to go check it out. And it's hard because the video doesn't necessarily do it justice because the lighting always changes the color, especially in pictures or video. But like in person, you can take it inside, outside. It's not changing colors. But like on a video and clips, it like, oh, this picture looks like, has like a reddish tone in it. And the next picture will look green. The next picture will look brown. It drives me nuts. It's like, man, why? I can't get the true color. But in the pictures that I took, that I post on that video, is probably the closest look to it. Or really the B-roll shot. But anyways, let's move on. Just wanted to let you know, go check that out. And that's Austin's going to jump on here in a second. So let us, sorry, getting a few little text here. Let's go in a little bit of scouting. I won't go crazy, but I'll give a couple, I feel like, good ones. And I don't know if people think there's more to it than this, what I'm going to say, but it's really not. It's not, you're going to be like, that's it? That's your tip? Well, the first one is when you're finding spots on refuges and you're going to a new refuge, one you haven't been to before, I'm just going to play it out like I would. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to this refuge, and I've never been there before. And I'm not saying, don't quote me on this, okay? Like, I'm not going to say, oh, every time I go to a new one, I'm going to show up the day before, get my spotting scope, and see if I can get at any angles around the refuge where I could see inside there. But that would be a great idea, honestly. If you could get there like an hour before sunset, or the sunrise in the morning the day before the hunt day, for sure. And I guarantee you, especially a lot of California refuges, I know we say you can't scout because we can't go inside there, but there is some refuges you can definitely stay on the outside, get up high on your truck or something, and that's totally fine. There's nothing illegal about that. And get your spotting scope and look in there and see where you see bird movement. And you may not know exactly what pond they're in, but if you get the general area, I'd be holding a map. I'm going to talk about like the third person, okay? I'd be holding a map of the refuge or on my phone, and I would orient myself. Like if I'm on the south end looking north, then that's how I'm going to hold my map, okay? And I'm going to know like, okay, general area. Here's my spotting scope, and I'm like looking. All of a sudden on the west side, I see a bunch of movement, a lot of birds getting up and landing, coming up and down. Of course, morning and afternoon is the best time to do that. Hour before sunrise or an hour before sunset. And you're going to start seeing them move, and just stay there in the morning for about an hour. In the evening, stay there till dark. So an hour before, stay all the way till it gets dark. You're going to see the most movement. And then that's where I'd go the next morning. Like, oh man, they're moving on the west side. Kind of looks like the middle of the refuge. If there's some references, like a tree sticking out, you can look on Google Earth, find that, and that will give you even more of a detailed spot where they are. But here's the thing. If you're close enough to where they are, you have good chances of getting them to come into you, even if it's not the exact spot. Now, sometimes how ducks are, if you're on the X, you're on it, and you don't have to do much. They just come right there. So I understand it could get frustrating. They could just be one pond over. But the cool thing is, you can always put a small spread out at first. Like that next morning, put a smaller spread out because like, hey, I don't want to put 5 dozen decoys out, and then like, I'm not sure if this is the X, and then I got to move 20 minutes after shooting time because I realize they're dumping in one pond over, 200 yards to the north of me. So put a smaller spread out at first, and maybe like a dozen, because you still want them to see, and then like, oh man, this is the spot, and if you want to throw more out, you can, but if it's working, why throw more out? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, I had a few things written down about that, about like scouting. Okay, so the other way you can do it, and this is more likely to what I would do in a real situation I've done many times, is if I go to a new place, I'll go there. If I want to hunt there that evening, like, okay, I'm going to try to hunt here this evening. I've never been here. I personally like hunting a new place in the afternoon because middle of the day, I'm going to check it out with binoculars, spotting scope, and I'm going to look around till I see movement, which you say, well, middle of the day, that's not the greatest time for movement. Well, it's not. But if you can get several groups over an hour period of time from 12 to 1 or 1 to 2, that's really all you need. You'd be surprised how many times you can just pick up and go and like, let's roll. Okay, they're dumping. There's like 4 groups that just dumped in there. You'd be surprised how successful we've been doing that. And then you hunt in the evening, you had a decent hunt, or you did an okay, and maybe you're off just a little bit. You're scouting while you're hunting. So you hit that spot that you sat in the parking lot, you're looking around, maybe you got to go tell them, hey, I'm going to move parking lots because you've seen somewhere else, and you looked on your map and you're like, okay, that parking lot's closer. If we're going to hunt there, you like a lot of our California refuges, you would have to go out and tell them, hey, we want to move parking lots. Then when you move, okay, now you're looking to really pinpoint where they're at, and you're looking through your binoculars, and then, oh yeah, there's like 6 groups, 6 pairs that just went in there. That's where we're going. We'll mark on our onX, give or take, because when you start walking, things change, right? So try to pinpoint it the best you can on your onX, mark it, figure out what pond it is, go. Get out there, and more likely, as you're walking out there, you're going to see more working, and you'll get a better idea. If you don't, that's okay. You'll flush those out and go right where those birds were, okay? Literally go right where those ducks flushed out of. Then when you get set up, get hidden, that's the biggest thing, right? Like really get hidden. I mean, I've flown over high enough over refuges that legally, because you have to be above a certain altitude, and I could still at 1,500, 2,000 feet, whatever it is, I can look down and I can literally see hunters down there, no problem. Like even when they're standing in the tules. So that always is in the back of my head when I think I'm hiding the tules. I'm like, man, if they come right over top of me, I know they've seen me. So I don't know if you can either crouch down or there's other ways to make blinds or build things up to hide you. Because I feel like top cover is more important than anything, because if you're standing in the shadows, like say you're in the afternoon and the sun's at your back and you're in the shadows, they're not going to see you even. I'm not saying do this, but a lot of times I've been standing in front of the tules crouched down where I'm in the shadows and they're flying in the sun. They don't see you. I promise you that. What kills, I think, all of us duck hunters more than anything is the top cover, not having that. So if there's a way that you can rig up something to cover the top, oh man. And I've thought about using umbrellas and brushing up an umbrella and, just because the umbrella's light and you could put light grass on it and put it right over top. I think I'd be surprised probably how good that actually works. And if you think about it, an umbrella goes down to nothing. So like, I might be a little tricky. I try this year. You laugh, but it really could work. You can buy these camo umbrellas, and I would just definitely throw some stuff on it. I think you'd probably be shocked how much that would help you for top cover. But then again, you might limit yourself in shooting. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but that's how we think, right? As duck hunters, we think stupid things like that. But so yeah, I'd go out there, and I feel like that's my best tip for going to a new refuge. You can do the day before thing, like I said, or you can do the middle of the day, sit in the truck. Even if you have to sit there till 2 o'clock and you still haven't seen movement, keep glassing, keep looking, take a little nap, get back up again, and look around again. You'll be surprised how quick a bird will come in, work, and bam, hit that spot, and you could have missed it if you weren't looking. Or, sometimes it's better with your naked eye to be looking. But I'm just talking about the binoculars for maybe like a mile and a half away, where it's just out of your eyesight range, So I just like looking with my naked eye. A lot of times I'll see them working way out there, 300, 400, 500 yards. Then when it goes past that, I grab the binoculars. But that's the best way, guys, honestly. And then, like I said, when you're walking out there, you're seeing bird movement, you're seeing what's going on. You may find another spot on the way, but at least you're making some progress. Then when you get out there and you hunt, you can build more intel for next time. And you could still stay where you're at and hunt there and kill birds, but like, oh man, that looks good over there too. Look at all the birds dropping in, pin that. That's really all you're doing. You're just paying your dues. That's how you find new spots. I want to encourage you, don't get stuck on going the same spot every time. There's the spots that we really like, we've been going to for years, but we know when and when not to go there. We know the times of year it's good, and we know when it's not good and when we don't go. And we'll travel, or we'll go up north, or well, like, hey, it's not really that good anywhere. We'll just go somewhere new just for the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different variables. But anyways, I'm gonna call Austin. I feel like that's really the whole scenario. I don't feel actually like I left anything out on scouting for a new refuge. That's exactly how I would do it. Trying to think of anything else. There's nothing else. I mean, that's just how we do it. And so hopefully that helps you, Adam, and anybody else that would like some good tips that's trying to figure that out. Let's go ahead and call Austin, and we're going to talk about the process. It'll probably be about 10-minute phone conversation, and then we'll end this episode. Here we go. Let's give him a ring.
Hello, sir.
What's up? We're recording.
All right.
Well, it's good to talk to you again. And I told everybody, just take another 10 minutes and talk a little bit about the process and again, where they can reach you and stuff like that. So what are you working on?
Absolutely, man.
What are you working
I'm
on
glad
right
you
now?
called. I was just, let's see, I just got done with some black multicam on an AR.
Ooh.
I'm working on that. I'm working on a hot sauce gun. I'll tell you more about that.
That one, I seen a picture. That one looks crazy.
Yeah, but actually right now I'm kind of doing some prepping, so I'm glad you called because I needed a break from the sandblaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Other than that, just working away.
How long does that take you to like sandblast, like say my A5, like everything on it? How long does that take?
You don't want to know.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, when you got to take off the dip, it's almost three
that's
layers
right.
that you have to take off.
So
So you have like the hydro dip film, and then you have, I think they use a primer, and then you go down to the regular. So I mean, it's literally like almost 3 layers.
now when you say hydro dip, why would they? Okay, so they did dip that, and was that like a sticky coating or something, had a grippy kind of coating on it, huh?
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, yours wasn't like I think the Browning Maxes have the big issue right now again on the sticky DuraTouch or whatever it's
Well,
called.
mine has that, but it's 8 years old, so they probably don't. When you grabbed it before, you probably like, oh, I don't have it anymore. But when I first got it, it had that real good like grip feel. But I think it's just worn off over
Okay.
the years. That probably was part of the problem trying to deal with getting that off, I bet.
Oh yeah. So I mean, and I'd say the metal is a lot easier,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to take your time with the polymer. So I mean, you don't want to rub too much off, but I mean, it's just one of those things that just takes time, man. So that's when anybody says, "Hey, I got one of those sticky," and I'm like, "Oh no." I mean, I've got 2 of them in my shop right now, and I'm not looking forward to doing it. But hey, that's what pays the bills, right?
Right. Yeah, you stay busy, man. You were showing me all the guns hanging. I'm like, man, you're constantly doing. I mean, you must be backed up for a little ways, to be honest, huh?
Yeah, man. My lead time's about 4 to 6 weeks right now.
Is it really? Wow.
And I mean, I feel like I almost need to bump it up. But yeah, I mean, me and my wife Sarah, we slayed it this past Wednesday. I mean, we did the multicam, we did a tiger stripe, we got a black and yellow camo going on, the hot sauce gun, and some other stuff. Man, it's been wild, but crazy, but good.
I love it. I can't wait to see that hot sauce gun all we done. So is that Cerakoting you did on it?
On the shotgun?
Yeah,
on the
with the
hot sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's Cerakote.
I mean,
man.
the actual hot sauce, was that a bottle or the label or something? I can't remember.
It's just the label, and then like if you look at the hot sauce, I don't want to say it, 'cause I don't want to, but if you look at that certain bottle, it's got like the actual hot sauce that's like almost like a crimson kind of color, and then the label is a brighter red with yellow, blues, and some other stuff. So,
and that whole label is Cerakote, right?
All of it.
That's
100%.
Crazy. No, it literally looks just like the label. Like, I'm like, dude, is that plastic on there or is that actually Cerakote? It looks so good. But anyways, back to our gun. I just kind of wanted to walk through it, and I texted you this morning, like, I cannot believe there was more clips because I transferred a lot of stuff. You know what happened, Austin, to be honest with you? When I'm trying to get something out, and remember, I was an hour late putting that video out than I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel rushed making it because I was like, I want to make this really good and I don't want to miss no details. And there you go. I stinking missed you engraving the logo on there.
Yeah, I mean, nah, it's all right though, man. I mean, you put it on. I mean, that's everybody kind of saw that in the beginning. And they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh wait, he's doing something to his gun," you know. So
yeah. Well, what
they
made me
saw
think
that,
of it?
which was
What made me think of it that I didn't have that clip in there is the guy a comment this morning on that video. That video is at over 4,000 views right now, by the way.
I know. I checked it out. I'm checking it out every morning.
I'm really happy with the turnout of that video. I didn't think that many people would be curious. I mean, like, I know that's the kind of video over time it would definitely gain views for sure.
I think I want to say when I first talked to you, I think you were at 10,000+ on Instagram, and I want to say you had like 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then here we are now, and you got like 40,000.
Oh,
like,
when did we first talk? Because I've actually been hung up on 40 for probably like a year, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, no, I've been, this channel is about 5-6 years old, so yeah, no, I've been.
I don't know. You still though, man. You got a lot of subscribers. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just hung up, but it's starting to do better now. Things are going better, so yeah. I mean, the curiosity was there. You black something out and say you got something done, and people are going to be like, okay, what do you have done? But I think doing the Instagram stuff too really created a lot of curiosity. Like, oh shoot, what's going to happen here?
Oh,
but
yeah.
That guy commented like, hey, who did your logo? Engraved your logo, and I was like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot to put that clip in there. But anyways, yeah. So Austin, you did that, and oh man, that looks so good. Like, even people that I think they just love the logo in general. People like that logo.
Yeah, man, and it's a really cool logo because honestly, I didn't realize what. I mean, I kind of had an idea of what it was, but then when I actually started messing with it, I was like, oh, it's propellers.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, now I get it.
Yeah.
But and it turned out really good, man. Especially the duck on there, the USA flag, and then what's the other one you have on there? The symbol,
the fish skeleton.
Yeah, I mean, it all turned out crisp. Perfect.
Oh, so crisp, dude.
I couldn't have asked for it to turn out any better.
Oh man, I mean, so crisp. Okay, I noticed something. When you push the laser and you're pushing a button, or like, I don't know what you do for like the one shot. Do you pick depth? Because when you sent me the video of doing that laser engraving on that logo, it kept doing it. It basically starts over, right? Like, it goes around, does it all, then it goes around, does it all.
Yeah, you just basically you set it to a certain setting. So either if you want it to not engrave deep, or almost like I'd say an anodized setting, there's just difference. One, you could do one pass, but if you really want it deep in that metal, you got to do it hard and about, it's like 15, 20 passes, about 3 or 4 or 5 different increments. I mean, technically, I probably passed over that almost about 100 times.
What do you mean?
With the laser.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, really?
like
for that logo?
Times, yeah.
Wow. Because it wasn't just showing up enough. Like, it wasn't. Because
yeah, and if I just did it like let's just say 15 passes or something, it wouldn't have been as deep and it wouldn't have looked good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of like, and I can kind of see it, I can touch it, feel it. As long as it doesn't move, then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go a little more, or I'm gonna do another 15.
Well, and mind you guys, everyone listening, don't think it's like like 1/8 of an inch deep into my gun. It's not like that. It's just
yeah.
What would you say, like, if you were to guess like a thickness or a deepness of that compared to something? It's shallow. It's not like you guys are probably thinking like, my goodness, are you ruining the integrity of your gun? Because it's not like that.
I forget the actual settings. What's it, like 3 millimeters or something like that for NFA settings? Basically, the markings on your gun that are already there. For instance, your serial number. But you're looking at it at a smaller aspect on your serial number. It's deep in there, but you just can't really tell because it's so small. So it's
Oh.
initially the same kind of thing. Like
Mm.
I have to be a certain depth when I'm marking somebody's name or manufacturer on their lower or anything else. It has to be a certain amount.
Mm.
So
I'm looking at her right now. She's beautiful. Dude, I've looked at her every time I walk out of my office. I'm just like stare out for like a, you know when you buy a new truck or something, you're like, you kind of you get out of the truck, you get out of the truck to walk in the store, and you like turn around, and look back at it.
The favorite part of my gun is when you rack it back and you hit that bolt release and it goes. Ting.
Yeah. Oh, hey, a good question. Somebody actually, I should go in the video and let's see if there's any questions we need to answer that you could answer.
I did see one. I think what was it? What kind of spring was it or
Yes,
something?
someone wanted to know because I think it was a guy that has an A5, so he wants to know like.
It was just the recoil spring, man. Basically, that little tube that's inside your stock goes over.
Well, I think
That's
he was
your
saying
recoil.
is that the regular Browning spring or is that a special spring that just has more?
No, it was just a brand new Browning spring from
okay.
Brownells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a question he had. Who?
Brownells.
Oh, Brownell. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that.
But
So
I mean, yeah, I think that was the only thing I really changed because when I put everything back and I was like, man, this thing's not moving right. I don't like it. And then I took that spring, I looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah, dude. What did it look like? Was I mean it just super flimsy when you took it out?
Flimsy, rusty, just and dirty. And I mean your tube right there was just all nasty as well.
Oh, it's a huge difference. I was actually went back and watched trying to see the difference in the pop of that it closing on an older video that before, like from a year ago or whatever. And I was like, holy smokes. Cause I remember thinking that I always thinking for the last couple years, like, I can't believe this gun still cycles fine with how slow the spring closes at my chamber. You know what I mean? But it never failed on me, but I'm so glad you did that. I really appreciate that. I mean, guys, like I was saying, Austin goes above and I'm not saying he's going to just do stuff for you, but what I'm saying is you go above and beyond, and I appreciate that about your work. You just
no problem, man. Well, I mean, my kind of rule of thumb here, man, is like I said, I think I said before, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I am a perfectionist. I don't want to send anything out that I think is wrong or doesn't seem right. I'll fix it if I can or find a way. But I don't want to send anything out that is not completely finished 100%. It's just the right way to do it, in my opinion.
I can't wait to post these.
Yeah, and I appreciate the video as well, man. I mean, it was awesome. I've watched it probably I've sent it to everybody. And I mean, when you're talking about me and giving me props, I mean, I really appreciate it. It hit hard, man. I like it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No. And it was, dude, Caleb, my buddy, came over. He's like, I want to come down and film some of that with this. So he has a 6K camera. So that the B-roll stuff was shot with a 6K. The only thing is the lighting, I think, was a little too dark because he said that camera, even though it's 6K, that the sensor for lighting is it needs lighting. And so it was a hair grainy to me. And I think he thought the same thing too. But, man, when it was just spinning and hitting that light in that B-roll shots, I was like, oh my goodness, that thing looks so good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you go back to lighting issues. That's what me and you had.
Oh, dude. Yeah, let's tell that story. Because remember, it kept looking, what was I saying? I kept saying gold, and you were saying what was the other color? We said we can't see anything else but that color. Was it green?
I think it was olive.
Olive. That's right, yeah.
Well, because I think, we didn't really kind of know what you wanted. And I mean, it's different when you're all the way in California, you're working nights. I'm all the way down here, 2-hour difference. And, we're really just communicating via text message a lot. Like, hey, I like this picture. Or, what do you think about this? So, it's kind of like you send something and I'm like, all right, that's burnt bronze or something. And then you send another one. You're like, all right, it's kind of got some greenish or some just regular FDE. So kind of let's go that route. And then I did that and I was like, you're like, man, it kind of looks green. I'm like, It does look olive, and like I
Mm.
think I slept on it the next morning. I was like, dude, we got to redo it.
You're like,
You
I
know?
can't unsee it.
Yeah, I was like, it's olive, man. It's olive.
Yeah.
So then I think we went to try to go FDE route, mixed in
Yeah.
with some colors, and we were like, it's just. I think it almost maybe looked gray. Maybe I
We
can't
kind of
really
went. We kind of
remember.
went a little stale there for like 4 or 5 days. We almost didn't really talk about it or didn't move forward with anything. It was just like,
Yeah, it was. We were kind of stumped in a way.
yeah.
I think both me and you, and
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, here we've got good days and bad days. Sometimes I like what I do, like when I spray it, and then I'll spray another thing, and I'm like, oh no, I don't like it. We got to redo it,
Mm-hmm.
or something just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So then I think when we finally talked again after we took a little 5-day hiatus, I think we just went back to, we found a good picture of what you liked,
Mm-hmm.
and we knew it had burnt bronze.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went with that as the base and mixed in a couple other colors, which I will not say. But, and then just did that. And then I think we tried a couple light distress and we figured it out. I think it was almost maybe both of us were too scared to say, I think it needs heavy distress.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both kind of figured it out. You know what? This thing does need heavy.
Yeah.
And so the final time I just put, a crap ton of black in there, man, over that bronze mix.
So you spray black straight on it and then start
straight on it. Yeah. Cause so once I lay that bronze mix, like, okay, so you remember the Instagram video that I just released yesterday? In the very beginning, when I show the logo and that paint, it looks like it's about to run.
Right.
That's freshly painted, coated. And then I let that dry for 15 minutes, just to air dry in my shop. Then I'll stick it in the oven for 180 degrees for another 15 minutes. That means after that, I can take it out, mess with it, touch it. It's not going to do anything. Once it cools down from that 180 degrees, that's when I'll hang it back up and spray all the black on it. I'll hit it in certain spots.
Okay. You don't just cake it on there then?
No, you can't. That's really, really heavy. Some people like that, but no, that's way too heavy.
Mm.
And then basically you let it, I put it back in the oven for about 7-10 minutes.
Wow.
And then I take it out and I take basically a Scotch-Brite guard and scratch it all up, basically take that black and smear it basically to where it's distressed scratched on.
That's a process.
But it is, man, and I like doing it. So,
yeah.
It's one of my favorites. My wife drives my wife nuts, and we'll do something like this hot sauce thing. It's going to get perfect at the end. I'm going to say, all right, I got to distress it. And she's like, oh no, but it just, I think the distress just looks so good, man.
Yeah. Okay. So do you, once you do that, the Scotch, right? And then it's not because I'm trying to do this. I'm just literally curious. Like the process is interesting. Like, do you spray some other final coat of something on it, or is that it when you're done Scotch-Brite?
That's it, man. Some people do a clear, but I don't really think it's necessary. If anything, you're adding more thickness to it. But
yeah, right.
No, man. Once I'm done scratching it up a little bit, I'll blow it off with compressed air and stick it in the oven the metal goes in for 300, and the polymer, like your stock and foregrip, went in for 180 degrees for 2 hours.
That long?
Yeah, man.
Wow. So the metal was in there. The metal was in there at 300 for 2 hours.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And 180 degrees. Everybody's like, oh, 180 degrees. You stick a scope in there or something, but it's not that hot. 300 degrees is hot, but the metal can take it.
Right. Wow, that's crazy. And is this a special type of oven, or is this literally a straight oven?
It's a special. It's a made, I would say, powder coating / Cerakote oven. Wow. It's not the brand that I want, but it's gotten me by with, the past couple of years. So I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I would say it works.
And then I want. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. For sure. And that's the thing, like I said before, you got to have the right tools, man. I mean, good spray guns, good air, cold air, especially down here, heat, oven racks. I mean, just so on, cleanness. So, but
so now we went from the MVM logo. I will save the best for last. But then we did at the last second. I said, "Hey, the butt. I think you were getting ready to ship it." I said, "Is it too late?" And you're like, "No, it's not too late." I go, "Dude, I want one more." I want one more thing on there. Don't kill me. I said, "But the butt looks too. The butt of the gun or the side of the gun looks too plain almost." I said, "I want something else on there." And I said, "Can you do this? The Heavy Shot logo?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." And man, what'd you do? Did you run it 3? Did it do 3 laser shots on that?
I think we did. Yeah, 3 or 4.
And it was like that last one. It was like, oh, because you did it. We were FaceTime, and I was like, oh, dude, that's it. Like it was. I was so glad at the last minute I caught that and did that on there because I think there's a few people that were like, man, you put the Heavy Shot logo on there, like because you're doing someone else's brand, right? And I said that's how much I believe in this brand. I didn't even question it. I'm like, I hope I don't regret that in 2 years. I know I'll never regret having that logo because whether or not I work with them or not, I'm still gonna buy that ammo. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how much I believe in it.
If you're a believer and you rep that company, I mean, yeah, why not, man?
Yeah, like I said, even if they don't work with me in 5 years from now, I could care less because I'm still gonna shoot, and that's how I love that logo, anyways. So I think it was a great touch, having the duck on there and whatever.
And that's another thing, So we engraved on metal, and then now we're engraving on polymer. So it's totally different settings, and yeah, it's one of those things where like you saw it, and Sarah, my wife, was here hitting the button, and I was standing over top, FaceTiming with you, showing you everything, and I was like, all right, hit it, and it looked good, and I said, all right, hit it one more time, and it looked a lot better, and I was like, it's kind of one of those things. Do you go again? Do you hit it one more time? And I was like, nah, go. It needs one more time. Then I was like, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, it was. I could see it live. I was like, oh, you could tell. Like the first one was like, second, that third one, it was like no doubter. It was like, oh, that's clean. And to throw this out there, your wife Sarah's super picky. She got that before you hit the button, or she hit the button. She was out there with the little ruler getting it exactly. So they guys, they don't mess around with perfection. I seen it myself live.
Oh yeah, she's sometimes I tell her she measures too much, but hey.
Well, you know what? Because I get that concept because I'm like, this is eternal. Like, you know what I mean? When you engrave something, it's like, man, if I mess this up, I'll have to live with that the rest of my life. That would drive me nuts if I messed up on an angle or if it was crooked.
I mean, and it happens, but I mean, yeah, on that thing, you really got to make sure, double check before you hit.
Yeah,
is what I say. F2.
Yeah. And last but not least is the Mountain Dew logo. Dude, you nailed it. Can you tell the colors again? Because I didn't say that in the video, and I was going to say that, and I forgot. It was like a zombie.
When we first, it's a zombie green and ruby red. Because you were like, man, do you think we should do, or who, did you come up with it, or did I do it? I can't remember. Did you have the idea?
I think Harrison, my buddy, says, dude, you should have the Dew on there somewhere. And I think I was thinking it too, but I don't think we knew where to put it because I was like, I don't want it on the main, like where it's always popping.
Yeah, no, where it's at.
But you might have been the one. I don't remember how that worked, honestly. I'm not going to take any credit, but.
No, well, anyways, when I said, I was like, all right, well, yeah, let's do it. And I said, I think I sent it to you, or you sent me the logo, and I was like, oh, yeah, easy. Zombie green, ruby red, all day.
And it's identical to the logo. Man. The colors. I mean, obviously the logo itself for sure is, but you got that Cerakote. Was that hard to do since it was kind of smaller in that small spot right there?
No, it's a 2-stage. So I think the the MTN is green, zombie green, right?
Yes.
So I think, I put basically a stencil on there, and then did the green first, flashed it, taped off the green, then did the red.
Yeah, you did super clean. Because that's kind of hard.
It's a little 2-stage process, but
okay. But being smaller like that, I'm assuming it's got to be a little tougher. But you nailed it, man.
Oh yeah, then you got to take a little tiny, very very sharp razor blade to get those stencils off.
Oh yeah, I
So I
bet.
mean, you could scratch it there. I mean,
Man.
but I'm glad we did it because I mean, you've got your gun that you've had for years. It's been revamped, redone, and the color that you wanted, the scheme, the distress. Not only do you have your logo engraved, you got the heavy shot, and to top it off, we ended up putting the dew on it.
Yep. And it's not overbearing. Like, you don't look at that gun and think, oh, there's too much on here. But to me, it's just like the perfect touch. Like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, that is solid work. Like, that's just perfect.
No, I would 100% completely agree with you, man. I mean, we did a lot of stuff on your gun, but you really wouldn't know it.
Yeah. It's like till you hold it, and you're like, oh, hey, I love the fact that Mountain Dew logo is just like, you'll turn the gun or like you'll just kind of do a quick flip. All of a sudden you see that flash, that zombie. You're like, hey, what? I guarantee you over the years, people are going to see that little flash because I'm not going to say nothing like, hey, what is that on your bottom of your gun there? And then it's just going to be a cool little talking point or.
Yeah. And like, I just thought, so what? You actually technically have 4 brands on your logo, 4 brands on your gun.
Oh yeah, I guess I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yours is on there.
Yeah.
Mine.
The Dew. Yours.
And Heavy Shot.
Yeah.
4 best things right there.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to cover. There might have been some more comments. I'm looking through it. Everyone's just like, hey, the personalization is amazing. Everyone says that MVM logo adds such a cool touch to it. I'm kind of reading through them right now.
Yeah, and I'll go check out some comments to see if there's any other questions in there, and I'll even answer that.
Yeah, please do.
It's send a link for that recoil spring, but yeah, that's really like going back to that, didn't it? But that's the only thing that really needed to be changed on yours, man.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, that's not bad for 8 years.
No.
Yeah, see,
not at all, man.
Some of these people are saying I've been waiting for this reveal for a while, so I think that was good to throw that one little video up. People seen like, okay, when the engraving, they knew work was getting done, so it kind of did create that curiosity, I guess.
Well, and we know we set a time. I mean, it was no rush really. You sent it to me, and I was like, all right, I know he needs it back before September 10th. Okay, so that was the day.
Yep.
But so we had time to take, our hiatus and all that. But at the end of the day, we got it right. It's killer. And I'm glad I was able to do it for you, man.
Me too, dude. I really appreciate it again, Austin.
No problem. Thank you, Titus.
Tell everybody where they can get you if you want to throw your number out, whatever, like however you want to throw it, go ahead because
name's Austin Daniel, owner of Acadiana Coat. You can reach me on my cell at 682-552-0255. Or best way to really get a hold of me is check me out on Instagram. So it's Acadiana Coat, ACADIANA Coat, KOTE. That's it, man.
All right, perfect. Yeah, and I think I'm curious. Like a lot of duck hunters, I'm sure season's starting, so I don't know how many people. It's almost like, oh man, there's a fine line in there, right? Like people want to get their guns back, but I think.
Oh yeah, and I've got a couple late bloomers in here, but it's nice to start seeing some of my guns out there. Like Ricky and them. I saw theirs at the dove hunt, and it was cool.
Yeah,
that's my question for you. I got one last question for you. When are you using it? When are you going to use that baby?
It'll be a couple weeks, so you'll be seeing it on some actual duck hunts. That's what I was going to tell you. Is I'm excited about that too. Is people seeing it out hunting and be like, dude, what? Because there's going to be a lot more people seeing it in the duck hunts than there is in just the video I did of it. Because a lot more people watch the duck hunts, so. I can't wait for those people that didn't see the reveal or whatever that see it in the video. I'm like, whoa, what? Did you get a new gun? Or, because I'm definitely going to say stuff about it.
What is that?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be.
Like, dude, did you put a Mountain Dew sticker on your gun? No, bro. It's coated.
It's coated. Coated. It's there for life.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's, I'll definitely be pushing it too in those hunt videos, like, hey man, because what I was gonna say is a lot of duck hunters have like probably 2 or 3 guns, maybe 10 or 20 duck guns, so there still might be guys sending it in during season while they're using their other guns, but we'll definitely have to have you back on after season and talk about some more. So
yeah, man, well, I appreciate it again, man, and have fun this season, man.
Yeah, I will.
As I said, cut them down for me.
I will, man. Thanks,
All right, guys.
Thanks for coming on, Austin.
Thank you.
All right, later. Austin Daniel with Acadiana Coat, and appreciate him again doing that, guys. He did such an amazing job. Really, he did. Honestly, I'm so glad he's the one that did it. He takes the job so serious, and he really puts his name to his work, and it means a lot to him. I could tell. So, because I know I don't think I was too difficult, but I wasn't the easiest because I was so, it's your baby, man. Like, that's your main gun. Like, you want it done right, and like you want to love it. You don't want to be like half-heartedly get it back and like it's okay. But I mean, I really genuinely like love it, and I'm so glad that he did. So check him out. And this was kind of all around the bush, helicopter almost crash, and to scouting to Cerakoting your guns. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you on the next one.